I'm Terree. If you didn't know how to say my name, it's pronounced Terree like a boy. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel if you're a real one, or welcome if you're new here. My name's Terree, and today we're gonna do a little get to know me, get ready with me, chit chatty kind of situation. I feel like we haven't sat down and done a makeup video since before the pandemic, and I also feel like we just haven't had the chance to sit down and chat and catch up, and I've had a lot of life happen. So, okay, I forgot to turn the light on, but anyways, like I was saying, I feel like we are long overdue for a little yap session. I asked the girlies on my book talk account and on my Instagram account to ask me some questions that you guys wanted to know. So that's where we're gonna get these questions from. Okay, so the first one says, I just wanna know more about you, who you are, where are you from? Also, I already primed my skin off camera, but I still wanna show you what I use to prep my skin. I went in first with this milky toner. This is the Anua Rice and Ceramide toner. Love this. For moisturizer, the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Water Cream. Also my Holy Grail moisturizer for makeup prep. And then for eye cream, the Beauty of Joseon Ginseng eye cream. So who am I? Where am I from? Okay, we'll keep it cute, keep it simple. Hey girl, I'm Terree. If you didn't know how to say my name, it's pronounced Terree like a boy. I'm actually named after my dad, so that's where that came from. But I'm a Navy baby, so I moved around a little bit. I was born in Honolulu, and I grew up back and forth between Honolulu, San Diego, and Connecticut. But then my parents divorced, and my mom's family's from Tennessee, so that's how I ended up in Tennessee. And I've been here since I was like 11, maybe 12 years old, and I'm 30 now. So I feel like I'm from Tennessee. Do I have any pets? That has definitely got to be somebody that only follows me on my book account, because y'all know, I have a French bulldog. Her name is Franny. She is in fact my entire world, especially if you follow me on Instagram. You see her on there every day because I post her nonstop all day, every day. She's just the cutest little stinky poo-poo girl. She is my baby. Fun fact, I also could not stand Franny when I first got her. I got her because somebody I was messing with at the time, she was his dog, but then he ended up really not wanting to take care of her no more, so I got her. And like, I really wasn't a dog person at first. Like, I used to be mad when she would get in the bed, when she would try to lick me, and now girl, it's her world and I just pay the bills in it. I just mixed the e.l.f. Halo Glow in the shade 5 with the Patrick Ta foundation in the shade 19 for my base. What book started you on your dark romance journey? It's me already grinning because giving me the opportunity to yap about The Ritual, I'll take it. But yeah, the first book that got me started with dark romance was The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. It was the first dark romance book I ever read, and I ate that shit up, okay? That was the first book too that really like solidified to me that I'm a reader, you know? I don't know, not to say that like that book summed up me being a reader, but like up until that point when I had started getting back into reading, I was only comfortable reading books that were around like 300-ish pages. And to be completely honest, I was still coming off like my I almost forgot that lady's name. My Colleen Hoover era, you know? And for a while, I thought I only enjoyed reading because I was only reading like Colleen Hoover books. But that was the book that made me be like, oh girl, no, you will actually devour a book. 600 pages, it sounds intimidating, especially if you're new to reading. But that was the book that made me be like, oh baby, 600 pages is nothing. And you can do this in a reasonable time frame, because 600 pages at first made me think like, oh, I'm gonna be reading this book for the next 11 nights. But yeah, it was definitely The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. What is my favorite and least favorite tropes? My favorite trope, without a doubt, is gonna be enemies to lovers, okay? Give me two people who hate each other's guts but are gonna end up in each other's guts. I'm gonna devour it every time. Y'all see all this concealer I just got in my hair? My least favorite trope, without a doubt, is always gonna be miscommunication, okay? Especially miscommunication in romance, because what do you mean? Y'all have the ability to say all these other sweet nothings to each other, and especially spicy romance. You can tell me every which way you wanna put your you-know-what in my you-know-who, but you can't tell me how you feel. Because I feel like the thing with miscommunication is it's never like something that couldn't be resolved with clear communication, and it's never something that like should have been prolonged for as long as it always is. Because I feel like miscommunication, when it's like miscommunication and it's a second chance romance, you mean to tell me it took y'all 10 years to figure out the words to say what happened between y'all the whole entire time? Because my thing is, I feel like with every miscommunication, it ends up, the way they reacted to the miscommunication ends up being way more serious than the thing they were miscommunicating about in the first place. Like, the situation y'all fell out over was it's this big, but how y'all acted and how y'all really just went MIA on each other for the last 10 years, like that's what the real issue is. I don't know what I've been using lately, but my eyelashes feel like they're falling out. Oh, girl, I done almost forgot to do my contour twice at this point. Because normally I like to do it before I do my concealer, but I got distracted talking to you. Anyways, concealer, the Curve Case by Made by Mitchell. The Curve Case by Made by Mitchell. Chef's kiss. I like to mix the two brown shades in the middle for my contour bronzer situation. How long have you been reading? So I did grow up reading a little bit, but once I got out of like high school and got into college, I really stopped reading like that unless it was like a self-help book. And then for the absolute longest, in my early 20s, that was like all I ever read was self-help books. Around 2021, I got back into reading fiction. I think one of the first books I picked back up was Where the Crawdads Sing, and I fell in love with it, and I just forgot how much peace reading brought me. But I really feel like right around the end of 2022 was when I kicked off my Colleen Hoover journey and what really sent me into being like a full-time reader. So at the end of 2022, I started reading Ugly Love, and that was like one of the first, you know, there's romance in Where the Crawdad Sings, but it's not like the focus. That was one of the first romance books that I read, and spicy romance, if you will, for what I knew spice to be at the time, okay? Obviously, we know it gets a lot freak nasty and dirtier, but that was where I started. And at that point, I was only reading like a book a month, if that. I was trying to. But then once I ventured away from like Colleen Hoover books and tried different books, that is when I started reading every single day. And that was where I reached the point where, I realized like, oh my God, girl, you're reading like at least one book a week. Like, and that was huge for me. And I still think that's huge to this day. For anybody, I think we get so wrapped up in all of the speed readers on Book Talk and the people being like, I've read 700 books in the last 3 days, that we forget that like reading a book a month is huge. Reading a book a week is huge. Reading 2+ books in a 7-day period is huge. Which brings me to my next question while we're already yapping about it. But what would some of your controversial takes on Book Talk be? The people who make you feel like reading is a race are losers. I'm not saying if you're a speed reader, you're a loser. I'm not saying if you're a speed reader, you're a liar. But I'm just saying like the people who, it's one thing to just tell people how many books you read, but you know there's certain people that make it feel like it's a competition. And it's just like, you want to ask them like, do you think you're better than me? Girl, you're not. Like, let's just normalize reading, period. I'm proud of you for picking up a book. I'm proud of you for finishing a book, let alone 3 in a day or however many you read. Like, that's one of my controversial takes. And my other controversial takes would be, hold up, I just got this Made by Mitchell curve case. I still haven't even taken this out the package, girl. I ain't even take this out the package, but I know it's gonna be cute. I know it's full of good colors, and I know it's gonna give my cheeks what I need it to give right now. Something fun, funky, fresh. But I don't know if I have another clean brush. Ooh, these are pretty. Girl, I feel like I've had so many different like journeys and eras on the internet, but definitely let's get into some life updates, especially for my YouTube girlies who mainly followed me on YouTube for my strip club vlog. Cause I'm sure y'all have been looking at my content like, dang girl, when are you gonna post another strip club video? And the answer is never. Well, I don't wanna say never. You never know how life unfolds, but as of right now, I'm no longer working at the strip club. I quit last year, at the beginning of last year. I stopped going to work at the beginning of last year, and then when it was time for contracts to be renewed, which again, if you are one of my OG strip club content girls, you already know my club does contracts once a year, and when it was time for contracts to be renewed, they didn't renew my contract. There was no hard feelings because again, girl, I hadn't came to work. I think I'd only worked maybe 6 nights up until that point. So yeah, I quit the club last year and started going full-time with content. I was mainly focusing on my book related content and TikTok shop content, but I definitely do want to get back to doing vlogs and lifestyle content and beauty and skincare content. So that's what we're trying to do here right now. So yeah, I ended up quitting the club last year. Also, for everybody who was invested in my esthetician era, I did finish esthetician school. I finished esthetician school in 2023, and I got my license that same year in September of 2023. So it's almost been 2 years. So this fall will be 2 years since I've been a licensed esthetician. Have I done anything with it? Absolutely not. Okay, absolutely not. I worked at European Wax Center for 2 weeks before I realized I don't want to do this. And maybe by like, I don't want to do this, I mean, I don't want to do full body waxing. Even though I enjoyed waxing, I just don't enjoy servicing people. I think that's really what it is. And the other thing with being an esthetician is that all of the jobs starting off are basic jobs, which like, obviously it makes sense because when you leave school, you know absolutely nothing. You know absolutely nothing. I cannot stress this to you enough. If you are in esthetician school or you're thinking about going to esthetician school, when you graduate, you are not going to know how to do anything other than how to pass state board and a couple of facial massage movements. And that was the thing that, I don't know, like kind of, I don't necessarily want to say deterred me, but it blew me a little bit because it's like, you don't know anything. So you can't be mad that the job offers are so low paying. But it's like, girl, I'm not nobody's employee. Y'all already know me, okay? And again, hey, I'm not above it. You never know how the tables will turn. But I'm just saying, like, at that point in my life, I couldn't really rationalize going to work somewhere for $12 to $15 an hour and then wanting to play you like an employee. That's my other thing too, because they want you to work there full time. They want you to do sales while you're there. They want you to do services in X amount of time. Y'all want too much and I'm getting too little. So I haven't really done anything with my aesthetics license. If anything though, recently I have been thinking about possibly taking the course to get my tattoo license to do microblading brows, because that's originally what I wanted to do. I just didn't know in Tennessee you had to be a licensed tattoo artist to do them, because there's a lot of estheticians that offer that services. They're not licensed. But yeah, that's like the update as far as like aesthetics and everything. I still absolutely love skincare though. But nothing about that changed. I just realized I don't love the idea of performing services on other people. But I do love learning skincare, and I do love yapping about skincare and sharing tips and tricks that I've learned. So I'm definitely looking forward to be able to start doing that in the social media space. Really, last year was my first year being a full-time content creator, but this year I want to move from content creator to influencer. And I can't even lie to y'all, I'm a little nervous. But what I keep trying to tell myself is, girl, you're only nervous because you haven't done it yet. And if you just do it a little bit, then you won't be as nervous, you know? But yeah, that's kind of the tea and the life updates and everything with me. I'm so happy to have you here. And thank you for letting me yap about me and my favorite things to you for a little bit. Girl, I don't know what I'm about to do, but I'm about to do something because I got makeup on. I feel cute. Okay, period. So that's going to be it for today. And like I said, I'm feeling cute, so I'm gonna go find something to do. Girl, if you're still here, just know I love you the absolute most, and I appreciate you listening to me out and just holding space for me here in the internet. Like I was saying, I have a lot of different things I wanna start doing and start posting. If you guys have ideas for specific videos you want from me, let me know in the comments below. I love you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.